How's it going, YWC guy on the internet who doesn't like reviews, bring you a Impact Wrestling Redemption pay-per-view review. Now, before I start talking about the review as a whole, a few things I want to address. This was a really decent pay-per-view, especially compared to that stinker we had, Bound for Glory. I don't know what that was. Obviously, they were changing from the old regime to the new regime, and it just didn't go all that well. This redemption, it had problems. I'm looking at you, top ring rope. You were the heel of the night. You almost ruined everything, and some of the match choices were kind of, what's the word we're looking for here? Out of place. Two that come to mind: Kira Hogan, Taya Valkyrie. Don't know why they didn't have save Taya and Rosemary and the Venus Dance for this pay per view, and why they didn't save Congo Kong versus Johnny Impact for this pay per view. I think those matches would have fit very well on this pay per view. But anyway, let's get into the pay per view as whatever. So the first match, Aerostar versus Drago. Aerostar gets the win with a springboard code breaker, and it was just okay. It was okay. Like I said, the top ring rope, I don't know what it was, but the entire night it just kept killing people's moves and being the cause of a lot of botches. But besides that, besides the ring rope, this was, like I said, a standard match. Aerostar got the win. Then you had LAX in their clubhouse. Well, two people, LAX, Ortiz and Santana. And Ortiz, I kind of like this because they brought out sort of a character between both of these guys. You got Santana. He's like a young hothead who does things off emotion, whereas Ortiz is the muscle, the cool guy. He kind of thinks and lets his actions speak for themselves. So they get a call, and Conan has been taken out, and Ortiz tells Santana, look, you got to focus. This is what Conan would want. So you get into the match, LAS versus Scott Steiner. Say what you will, yes, Scott Steiner is old, and he's not the physical specimen that he used to be. But even with that, even with Scott Steiner not being where he used to be, he still looks a lot better than most wrestlers today. Hell, better than most people. And in this match, not only was Scott Steiner very entertaining, the motherfucker at his age hit a top rope Frankensteiner. Let that sink in, if you will. And Eli Drake was just Eli Drake. For a guy his size, you wouldn't think he would hit like a springboard moonsault, but he does, and it's awesome. And then you had LAX doing their tag team moves, which for a team that's been together that many years, I really like their tandem offense. It has that lucha feel, so you get that kind of high impact stuff with it. But in the end, why are you scratching me, dog? But in the end, you get, y'all always want me okay. You get LAX. They set up Eli Drake for the street sweeper, but Santana's emotions get the best of him, and instead of going for the victory, he goes for a outside dive on the Scott Steiner, which allows Eli Drake to hit the gravy train on Ortiz. Eli Drake, Scott Steiner are your new Impact Wrestling Tag Team Champions, and the entertainment, I can feel it. I can feel new gifts coming, new promos. I just feel it all coming. Excellent move by Impact to do this. You got a great Mike Talker and Eli Drake. You got one of the most controversial and pipe bombish people and Scott Steiner. I can't see nothing but great things with this happening. Then you have the 6-way X Division title, not X Division title, but X Division match You had Ishimori, Xavier, Phantasmo, Brian Cage, yes, Brian Cage, DJZ, and Trevor Lee. Now, I know a lot of people are thinking, or just saying it, Brian Cage, why is he in a match with all S Division guys? He's not an S Division guy. It makes no sense. Well, it does make sense because the S Division is, say it with me, folks, no limits. This is not the Cruiserweight division. This is not 205 Live. This is a division that is predicated upon style, fast pacedness. And Brian Cage, if you all remember, Brian Cage was brought into Impact like a couple years ago as a S Division guy. He wrestles an S Division style like all the time. Yes, he does a couple of power moves, but he's a X Division. Like, you look at Brian Cage's repertoire, it's X Division. It just screams X Division. And I was worried about this, man. I was, especially during the match when they started and Brian Cage is sitting on the outside, like, yeah, I'm gonna go in here and fuck everybody up. But when he got tagged in, not only was it fair to the other S Division guys because as soon as he got in, they were tag teaming him, and like they were like we wrestling each other, and then they would just all make it say, man, fuck that, super kick this motherfucker or do some kind of tandem offense. So it kept him on his toes. It just wasn't Brian Cage steamrolling through all these guys, and some of these guys on their own got Brian Cage out of his element or got some offense on him. So that was a good choice in this match. A lot of good spots. Too many spots to mention. Let me see. I was thinking one. Trevor Lee hitting the collision course on Brian Cage. I know he's hitting on bigger guys, but damn, if that doesn't look good every time. Let me see. Ishimori hitting a rolling like Death Valley driver, and then getting picked up by Cage. You had DJZ hitting a like top rope suicida DDT on I think was it Trevor Lee, and that hit on everybody. Desmond Xavier. I don't know what the hell that shit was. It was a double springboard backflip Pele kick. My jaw was on the floor as soon as I saw that shit. I was like, that's it, match over. But in the end, Brian Cage, there's he tries to go for like that double Pele kick again. Cage kisses him, hits him with the drill claw. 1, 2, 3, and I'm hoping this leads to Brian Cage being more in the S Division and eventually challenging the winner of PD Rios versus Matt Sydal for the S Division Championship. I think Cage in the S Division, it has more potential than the World Championship. The World Championship can come at any time, but the S Division, it needs characters, it needs stars, it needs rebuilding. And right now they're doing that. What better way than to put one of the hottest names, Brian Cage, in the S Division and challenging it, maybe winning it. Then you had, you had the Kiera Hogan versus Taya. Look, Kiera Hogan needs a little bit of work, and look, not everybody's gonna be a big star right out the gate. There's potential. Like, there's potential with Kiera Hogan. It just seems like they're throwing her in this thing. They basically said to Kiera Hogan, "Is sink or swim, yeet," and threw her right into the middle of the ocean. And probably take a couple months before we see if she sinks or swims. But the big point of this match is that Tessa Blanchard made her debut in Impact, and I'm gonna just sum it up. This is what it was on commentary. Tessa Blanchard said, "I'm here. I got the legacy. I got the pedigree. Blah 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 blah." And I forgot his name. The other guy on commentary. I was just saying his name. But Don Callis. Don Callis was like, "Yeah, I agree with you. Your father, your stepfather. Yeah, you're tremendous." And Josh Matthews was pretty much playing the role of the IWC when somebody comes to Impact or WWE or anything else from the Indies, like, okay, you were ground in the Indies. What have you done here? You don't deserve it. Why do you deserve a title shot? Because you beat somebody in the Indies. The fuck does that have to do with Impact or just insert any company anywhere? Okay, you beat people on the Indies. So what? Which is a great argument that John Matthews brought up. No matter if you hate him or not. Okay, you did good on the Indies. You think you deserve a title shot? I think not. Prove it. Ty Valkyrie ends up getting the victory over Kiera Hogan. It was what it was. Then you had Matt Sydal versus PD Williams for the X-Division title. And as soon as Matt Sydal came out with that new entrance stuff, I was like, yeah, he's winning. There's no way he's going to drop the belt after getting that new shit. So this was a good technical match. But in the end, Matt Sydal ends up winning with a new match. And the story of this match, I really like the story. The story was PD Rios, he loves to hit the Canadian destroyer. It basically what defines him as a wrestler. He loves it so much that he pretty much gets too involved with doing it. Like, it's the only thing that is what drives him throughout the match. Whereas Matt Sydal, his third eye is open. He's more involved. He's a different Matt Sydal. He's an innovator. And in the end, Pete Williams hits the Canadian destroyer. Matt Sydal rolls out. He eventually gets an upper hand on PD. Tries to go for it again, misses. PD tries to go for another Canadian destroyer. Matt Sydal sneaks in, like grabs PD Williams' arms and like flips him up and hits him with some kind of variation of a tombstone power driver. So that was good. That was a good storytelling in the match. And Matt Sydal retains the title. Hopefully we get Matt Sydal, Brian Cage, some kind of storyline feud. I know what you're thinking. Matt Sydal, he's gonna drop the belt like super fast because Brian Cage is really big. We've seen this before. I've seen the match before. Brian Cage and Sydal, they have good matches between each other. But you could have it to where Sydal is mind fucking Brian Cage all the time, and you could draw that out for a while. So it could happen. Then you had Ali versus Su Yung. This was okay. Ali ends up winning with a roll up. Su Yung tries to go for the panic switch. Ali rolls out. Here's a schoolgirl. And after the match, like Brian Sutter, he's like, okay, look, that was bad. You lost, whatever. But look, marry me. Look, yeah, marry me. And whatever. Su Yung sprays missing his eye, so she's a tweener now or whatever. And she hits the mandible claw on Braxton Sutter. So, yeah, fair match. And I'm okay with Ali winning. Ali still needs to hold the title for a little bit. And I would think now they're going to have maybe Tessa Blanchard. Or I would think maybe with the wins that Ty has been picking up, maybe Ty versus Ali or Rose. It's a lot of different paths that could go down here with Ali defending her title. And that's good. You want to have a lot of good challengers, contenders in a division. It would make a division. It would make a champion. Champions aren't made by how long they hold belts or whatever. Sometimes, but most of the time you not understand, but you appreciate a champion more by the people they beat, like by the legacies. Rock Austin, Triple H, and all the people he had feuds with. That's what really defines champions. Then you had Tommy Dreamer, Eddie Edwards, Moose versus OVE. Just a brutal match. And I'm trying to talk about some of the spots in here. You had Moose like doing a dive on one of the Chris brothers through two tables, but he gets caught with a cutter. moves him like a drop kick onto a Chris Bro with a trash can. Tommy Dreamer hitting like some kind of suplex with like a kendo stick onto Jake Chris. OVE hitting the all-seeing eye, which is where they had, I think they had Eddie Edwards on Dave's shoulders. Jay got up on top of Sammy's shoulders and jumped off and hit a cutter onto Eddie, onto some chairs. Sammy Callahan hitting like a suplex onto Eddie on top of a chair. Just a lot of hardcore spots here. It almost went like match of the night for me. Like, but to me, match of the night was still like, it's hard to pick between that 6-way and that X Division match. Like, damn. It's a lot of good choices on here for match of the night. But anyway, getting back to that. Eddie Edwards and Tommy Dreamer and Moose lose because Callahan, he tries to hit Eddie with the bat again. Dreamer comes in with a barbed wire bat, aka Janice, whatever you want to, not Janice, but a barbed wire bat. And they have it out. Dreamer knocks out Callahan's bat, and then he tries to go hit Callahan with his barbed wire bat. Callahan low blows him, gets the roll-up victory, and like celebrates. Eddie Edwards just completely cleans his clock, and then rips his flesh open with the barbed wire bat, takes him up, and starts like waylaying on him with a kendo stick. Jake Chris tries to come in, he gets fucking demolished with that stick, just bow, and he just continues to just keep driving it on with the kendo stick onto Sammy. A referee comes in to try to stop it, and Eddie Edwards just pushes it off and just wow, right in the stomach. Dreamer comes in, he's like, stop it, don't do this. And Eddie's like, don't do this. You know how this is like, or whatever. He keeps doing it. He's waylaying him. Eventually, Eddie's wife comes out, and like it reminded me of that Family Guy segment where they're at the chocolate factory, and and the wife comes up on the guy who's a ninja, and he just wow, you can't sneak up on me, honey. I'm a ninja. Basically the same thing. Like Eddie's just waylaying. Alicia just comes up and like tap Eddie on the shoulder. Eddie just reflexes. Wow. It's not funny, but it's funny. And he like knocks her out. EMTs come out. Eddie's like, no, what have I done? Oh, the horror. But beforehand, Eddie obviously had a character change. And I'll make a bold prediction. Very bold. Very bold. Eddie Edwards is going to join OVE. I know the way it looks now, but he's going to join it. He's going to join OVE, and he's going to say like they brought me out a different person to me, or something like that, something to that same effect. I don't care about my wife. All I care about is hurting people, and it feels good or whatever. But yeah. Then you had the main event: Aries, Fenix, Pentagon Jr. And in a very surprising turn, Pentagon wins the Impact title. And like in the end of the match, I like this part because before the match ended, like Pentagon and Fenix teamed up to basically take out Austin Aries. And Aries at the end of the match, he's looking at them like embrace, give mutual respect. He's looking at them like, oh, okay, it's two brothers. They got me. They got one on me. And then like while Pentagon celebrate, Aries just has this look on his face like, I'm gonna get these motherfuckers. Like it's not over. It's not over. I got tricked, but I got something for these motherfuckers. I got something planned. And the end of the match came with, like I said, Phoenix and Pentagon teaming up on Aries, and then Pentagon lures in Phoenix and super kicks him, puts him in the gory special, and then at the same time puts Aries in a package pile driver, hits the move, puts Aries in like an arm breaker, breaks his arm, and then hits his finisher, the Fear Factor, and wins the match. 1, 2, 3. Excellent main event. Like, I would have thought these styles wouldn't have meshed together, but damn it if they don't. And I thought they would have did a thing where all throughout the match, Pentagon and Ray would have been teaming up on Fenix, but it was a lot of back and forth, a lot of good action, solid main event. And I'm gonna say this: this pay-per-view was $40. Was it worth $40 in this new screaming environment? That's your discretion. It really is, because if you think about it, let's break down the math of this. 8 matches, $40. It comes out to $5 per match. If you tell me these matches weren't worth at least $5 a piece, I can't take you serious. I really can't. I can't. Sorry, got distracted by the dog and the sun outside. I can't understand your logic in saying $5 per match wasn't a good value, especially when, I hate to say it, but we got to bring up WWE, because there's 3 I'm just right there. So I'm gonna get out of here. Catch you guys later. Peace out.